algún momento vamos a empezar.
Mm. I think we're live now.
It says live. I don't know if we have started yet or not,
We have
but
started for sure.
I don't know. Maybe,
It is official.
maybe.
It is
It's like
official.
a casual conversation we have started already. We don't know what we're going to talk about. Well, maybe yes, maybe not. We are going to improvise tonight. What about that? Yes. we are going
We always improvise. What are you talking
oh,
about? This
yeah,
is live.
exactly. This
This
is
is live. That's the,
live.
that's the
This is
magic of a live stream.
yeah, right. This
There's
is
no time to read the script.
so it's
It's all
like
natural.
if you ask me right now, please ask me how I'm doing right now.
How are you doing, Mr. Mask Meeple?
Well, I'm drunk. I don't know if that's a mistake, but I'm
Cheers.
drunk. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, cheers. So yeah, I'm drunk. In this life, you can only be or drunk or crazy. And today,
Not both.
yeah, no, not both. I mean, tonight I thought like it would be good to, um, you know, try to be not as crazy as usual. So the only other option I had
Usual.
was to get drunk. So that's fine.
Excellent. Excellent. Well,
And
what are we doing today? What is
it's
this?
Monday. It's Monday. So what other option do I have? Nothing
Exactly. That's
else.
the only option. But let's welcome all of our beautiful people to the After Game Night podcast, episode 8. Can you
Believe it or
believe it?
not,
2 months.
believe it or not.
We
thank
are
you.
on fire.
This is every single episode is a new milestone for us. We
It is.
celebrate every single one because honestly, every single week we question ourselves if this is gonna be the last one. So it's good. It's good to be here after eight
It is.
episodes.
It is.
We have survived
Well,
2 months.
we
Nice.
have indeed. And I think it might be a good time to get started with the first section of the episode,
Yeah, why
which
not?
is what games have we been playing lately? So, Mask
Lately,
Maple,
So
tell us,
this
please.
this week it was a very, correct me if I'm wrong. No, don't correct me because I'll go pissed. But it will be it was a very interesting week, very productive week in terms of gaming,
Nice,
sort of,
nice.
because I play a lot of games. I start playing games in the middle of the week, then
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
throughout some couple of days, and then finally the on the weekend when we have our normal gaming day, which is I
mm-hmm.
really appreciate my friends that have the time to and also enjoy the time playing with us. So anyway, without further introduction, I would like to share with you what I have played, and this time, I would like to start with this beautiful game called Barcelona.
Barcelona. Mm.
Barcelona from Danny Garcia, published by one of the companies that I know you adore, which is
I
Board and
am a big
Dice.
fan of Bird
Big
and
fan
Dice.
of Board and Dice. And
Bird
yes,
and Dice.
indeed. This is the Japanese version, beautiful cover. The cover shows the Sagrada Familia, La Sagrada
Mm.
Familia. So yeah, basically what we have here is a machine of points. Every single turn you're gonna score points. Like if there is no other option in the world,
Mm.
only scoring point. You can have,
It's a big point game.
yes, because you have like one action, then that action will decide with other. It's like one movement, and that movement will dictate what actions you are going to perform during your turn, basically. So you can
Mm-hmm,
either
mm-hmm.
perform one, two, or three, basically.
Hmm.
And based on that, basically, you can use one of those actions to go and blow the whole board and score like 30 points in your turn.
Blow the whole world?
Yeah, the whole, well, like in no, not exactly, but yeah, you can score like a bunch of points just by planning. I mean, know how to create great combos.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
To be honest, at the beginning, it was like, okay, this sounds promising. Then when I start playing. I played a two player,
Mm-hmm.
um, this one, and yeah, the thing is, when you see the tokens that the game includes, that the multiplayer tokens, when you can
Mm-hmm.
score more
Mm-hmm.
than
Mm-hmm.
100, more than a 200, etc., etc. So the maximum, or the top, the highest number on one of those tokens is 400. So that's for me an indicator that you can score a
It's
bunch of,
possible.
and that I score mediocre during this game because I score less than
50.
300, less than 300.
No.
It makes me feel very bad, because for me, is why you have the option to score up to or more to of 400, and I only score less than 300, which it was for me a good indicator that I really I was really bad at the game. But anyhow, I
Damn.
like it.
That's
I
very
learned.
sad.
Yeah, I mean, I
What
really like it. Mhm.
uh what other games have these designers made, created?
Good question. We can ask the our good source of knowledge.
Board game geek.
Danny Garcia. Let's see. This will be a good thing. This is the good thing of being live. You can.
What do you think? What do you think? Was Barcelona? I know that's a very new game. I think it came out in Gen Con.
It came out. I think before that, but in Jenkins was. I don't know. I don't
If
see
you go
any.
to your tab in Barcelona,
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah, you can
I'm
click on
right,
the
right,
link.
right. Yeah, you're right.
There you go.
They're very, very interesting game. Yeah.
There you go.
So
Let's
you have
see.
Arborea, yeah,
Arborea.
Arborea.
I don't remember that
Whale
one.
Valley. I have heard
Ah,
about it as
these are
well.
games that are coming out. So this is their first.
Mm-hmm.
This is their first
Yes.
released game.
Mm-hmm. But
Interesting.
This
How
is a
heavy
very.
is it? Let me see. How heavy
It's
is Barcelona?
3.30 something.
It's a light one. It's easy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's not
Of
very
course,
complex.
of course.
Like I said, you have a lot of things to do. It's like a lot of options,
Mm-hmm.
but since the simplicity of your turns is just placing the workers or
Mm-hmm.
the people, and basically do whatever you wanted to do with those people. Like, it's just placing the tokens in the board, and then do the actions. It's not complicated. The rules itself. The complicated part here is to know what to do in order
I
to
see.
get the best
Maximum amount of points.
maximize
That
your
makes a lot of
points.
sense. Yeah, Barcelona. I remember just looking or seeing a lot of people excited about it on online.
Yeah, I mean, I can
So,
see why. I would like to try it next time with more players.
is
But
it
for now,
better
I
than
think was
Teotihuacan?
no, it's not. No, it's
Oh
not.
man, pass.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, Teotihuacan has its own enchantment in terms
It is
of
different.
it's totally
It
different.
sounds different. Yeah,
Yeah, no, totally different. It's nothing related at all.
Teotihuacan is a
No.
magical
Yep. So
piece of art.
that was the first one I played early in the week. Then I also played. Let's see where I can find. You see,
Everdell.
I missed one. Yes, Everdell was one of the games.
It's right
Yeah,
there.
whatever.
Oh, look at
Everdell.
it.
Yeah, I played Everdell.
Your
Yeah,
favorite game.
yeah, one of my favorite games ever.
Your
That's for
absolute
sure.
top favorite game.
And I would like to mention, make a special mention here, because I lost for just for 1 point.
You
So
lost like second
I
place or
lost.
last
Yeah,
place?
no, second place, because it was a four-player game.
Oh, so you got second place.
I
Hmm.
got second place, and I got just
How
behind the
many
first place
times?
for
How many
one.
times have you played Everdell in your life?
I don't know, but I consider myself an experienced player, and the bad part here is you cannot control some bad things that some players can do to your
Ah.
board. Like player this little guy over here that makes you lose 2 points just because they
Oh, the
think
fool.
you're the fool. Yes,
You
so
got played the fool how many times?
you can only play one because it's a unique creature. So you
Ah,
can
it's a
only play one.
unique. So
But
you
that
were
was enough.
chosen.
Because if I
Minus
didn't
two
have this
points.
magnitude, I would win.
Wow.
But
Rookie
anyhow,
mistake.
I would like to special mention my friend Carla, who was the person in charge of first, try to frustrate my ambitions of winning
Strategy.
my favorite game, one of my favorite games,
Oh man, not
and
anymore.
then missing me. Well, but no, yes, it is absolutely. I mean, I always enjoy playing Everdell anyway. So,
Hmm.
and also it was the first time that my friends play it. I teach them how to play it. They like it a lot, and also because they realize how to, create some combinations, trying to,
Hmm.
and it's very interesting how players interpret. I mean, they wanted to play it very different
Mm-hmm. They have
than
different strategies.
exactly that the way you used to play normally, and they show you a different approach to the game. So yeah,
Yep.
I like that one too. So yeah, that was one of the other games that I played. And I think there is not too much of no, there is just a few things that I can add about this game other than it's fantastic. And
Perfect. Perfect.
one other game I played, and it was also the first time I played, was Poland.
Poland.
Poland,
By
who's
whom?
the designer of Poland? Dr. Reiner
Reiner.
It's
Dr. Reiner Kids.
Dr. Rainer. So yeah, this
Damn.
at the
One more
beginning,
game to his
at the
collection.
beginning, at the beginning, you was like, okay, another game,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It looks
but
pretty.
yeah, it's pretty. The presence on the table looks fantastic because it's very very colorful, like you
What
said.
are you trying to do?
So you are trying to basically you are competing for majorities around these
Uh-huh.
tokens. So you're basically every time. I mean, you start with a token, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have a deck of 15 tiles, 15 tiles,
Mm-hmm.
card tiles, and then depending on the insect that you of the token, you're trying to have majority around this token, basically.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's say, for instance, we have this butterfly token here. So
Mm-hmm.
here,
Oh, so the
green
players
one.
are the different colors?
Yes. So this player,
Oh.
each player has their own color. So in this case, green has two, or
Oh,
they're
that's
competing with
interesting.
two for the butterfly, and the pink one, because we have some stars. So stars are
Oh.
wilds, so they're also counting for any insect. So in this case, right now the pink one is winning because this player has three, and this
Mm-hmm.
one has only two. But in case maybe purple or green plays again another two here, two
Uh-huh.
butterflies, then this player will gain a butterfly token. So
Interesting.
at the end of the game, you have a supply of tokens of each one of the insects. So at the end of the game, whoever win, if at the end of the game, one player has two majorities in terms of
Mm-hmm.
the number of tokens, that player automatically wins. If not, there is you compete for like between two majorities, like one player has majority on the butterflies and the other one majority on the bees. There are only
Mm-hmm.
three insects, three kinds of insect. This is a like a moth or something, or I don't know what it
Mm-hmm. Like
is.
a scarab.
It's kind of, yeah, I don't know.
A bee.
A beetle, a bee, and a butterfly.
Nice.
So there are some tokens that has two insects. So let's say, for instance, if you have a star here, you're competing for both. So each one of the insects in the same token scores independently.
Hmm.
So, like for instance, you are going to count how many bees are here present, and then how many of the other bug you have here. So
Hmm.
you can even win two tokens in a single uh,
How many?
yeah, two meeples in
Four
a single
players?
token. You can play up to four players,
Up to four players.
and that's the
Damn.
player account that we played. Yes, the player
Looks
account.
interesting.
Yeah,
For sure.
actually, it was a really nice surprise. Honestly, I really like it. It was
Hmm.
interesting. And one other
Nice.
game, come on, whatever. The other
Star
one I
Wars
played, yeah, it was Star
deck
Wars deck
building
building.
game.
So if you have ever played Star Realms, this is basically Star Realms with Star Wars
I don't
thematic.
play much deck building.
Ah, well, anyway, I like and I really enjoy deck buildings, and Definitely, Star Realms is a very easy PC game. Like you can learn the game in 5 minutes and play it in around 20, maybe. But I have found this game more interesting in terms of the actions that you can, or the things or the new mechanics that compare with the Star Realms this game has. So
Mm-hmm.
also on top of that, I'm a big fan of Star Wars, so that will also have an extra point to
Yeah,
score for this game. So yeah, I really like it, and yeah, it was very
that's
interesting
cool.
game night. This was a game night for like 30 minutes, or yeah, 30 35 minutes. So it was just before bed. A game. It was really nice. And the last game I would like to share with you because I really enjoyed
Damn,
that.
yeah, you've been
The last
playing
one
quite a bit.
I told you, it was here is District Noir. I would like to show you the newest. Let me see. This is the one. Yeah, this is the one. District
Nice.
Noir. So
District
District
Noir.
Noir is a very simple game, card game, when
Mm-hmm.
you are basically going to play a card on a row or take up to 5 cards from that row. So also after 3 rounds, you are going to count how many of each one of the numbers you have, and if you have more than the other player, this is a two-player game, so you are only
Mm-hmm.
competing with other player. So
Okay.
if at the end of the game you have more of one kind of the or a certain kind of card, you are winning the points described in each one of the cards. Like for instance, if you
Mm-hmm.
there is 6 cards of the six, 7 cards of seven, 8 cards of an eight, etc., etc.
Makes sense.
So if you have three fives, so you will win the
I have the
fives,
majority.
and then you score five, and then you
Mm.
are going to score for each one. But there is also 3 location cards, and if at any point any player has the 3 cities, automatically wins.
Oh, okay.
So that's the other
Interesting.
way you can win the game.
So you need to make sure you're not passing.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Or leave the
Mm.
cards to the other players. I would like to wanted to
Sounds
share this.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I played this game with my daughter. It was a
Okay.
really interesting one. Yeah, she got it right away, and we played 3 games because I won the first one, she won the second, and I won the last one. So it was a really
Nice.
interesting. So yeah, these were the games that I've been playing in the last week. So yeah, like I said, it was a very productive way. What about you? Tell me about you.
What about me? I have been playing just a bit. It's been a busy week at
Mm-hmm.
work, but one of the games I got to try for the first time, thanks to Board Game Arena. By the way, Board Game Arena, you can sponsor
Mm-hmm.
us if you like.
Yeah, please sponsor
Um,
us.
it was Hit
Mm.
Metal,
Mm-hmm.
Pedal to the Metal, which has been. It's no surprise people have talked about it when it came out. I think I think last year it came out. But yeah, it was well received. People were very excited about it, and I didn't have a chance to try it out until now that it was available through Board Game Arena.
Mm-hmm.
And now I understand why. I have not tried many racing games. I have not tried Formula D. I have not
Mm-hmm.
tried what is it, uh, Grand Prix GT, or I don't remember the names, but
Um.
there are multiple
Yeah.
games that are
Mm-hmm.
like car racing games.
Right.
Uh, but this one was very well received by everyone, and I got to try it, and I understand now why. You're pretty much managing a deck of cards that allow you to move through the track,
Mm-hmm.
but when you approach curves, you cannot exceed a specific speed. I forgot to mention that you play the cards to set the speed that you're using on your turn. But
Let
when
me
you
see if I
approach
can
a
find.
corner, you have to go under the speed limit. And if you go higher than the speed limit, then you are pushing the power of your engine. So you're exhausting your engine, you're generating heat.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you push your car, the less, I don't know, flexibility your engine is going to have. So you need to really time when it's the right time for you to push your car to move farther and generate heat, or when it's the best time for you to slow down a little bit and let the car rest so that you can let the engine uh, cool down and get some of that heat back into the deck so that you can spend it again when it's the best time to do it. It's very interesting. I really enjoyed it, and it has multiple maps and some like event cards that allow you to change the racetrack, things like
Mhm.
that. I really enjoyed it. Have you had a chance to play?
I have played, but I play without knowing the rules.
Oh
So
no.
I was just, trying to figure out how to play it
Yeah.
by, just by playing. And also, this one, I have heard a lot of good comments, like you said,
Hmm.
and I was very excited to have a copy. This is one of the games that I before tried. I wanted to buy it just
I see.
because I
Because
I
the
heard
hype.
a lot of, yeah, because I have,
I
I
actually,
heard a lot
it
of
was hard to get
good
for
things
some
about it.
time. I think.
Mm. What is it?
I think it was hard to get for some time. It
Yeah,
was
so
unavailable.
that was the other thing. Yeah, when I was like eager to get a copy, it was available on one of my local game store,
Hmm.
but it was also for me. I thought it was quite expensive. It was like
Yeah.
almost
Yeah. But I
70
think
to
it's,
80
yeah.
bucks, things like that.
I
It was like, oh my, okay,
I
maybe
think they
in
were
another.
taking advantage of the fact that it was like full of hype for sure.
Yeah, 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 definitely. So
Yeah.
I decided to wait, and then after a couple of weeks, it was
Hmm.
sold out everywhere. So
Yeah.
I was kind of regret, but I was like, okay, maybe. I mean, yeah, I definitely wanted to play it
Hmm.
in the good. I mean, once I know the whole rules now and everything, so it's good that it's in board game arena, so we
Yeah.
can play it
We
and
should we
try
should get
it.
a game going.
Yes,
The good thing is
yes.
that Board Game Arena enforces the rules, so there is no
Mm-hmm.
way to
Cheat.
make it wrong. Get the rules wrong. But I gotta say, the first time I played with some friends on Board Game Arena,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't quite understand the
Mm-hmm.
game. I didn't quite fully understand. So even though I wasn't like I didn't have the choice to cheat by mistake. I still
And by mistake.
by
Uh-huh.
mistake, of course.
Uh-huh,
I
of
still
course.
wasn't playing the best because I didn't understand the whole dynamic of
Mm-hmm.
it's not just go fast all the time. Like you cannot go
Right.
fast all the time because then
Right.
your engine becomes exhausted, and now you
Mm-hmm.
are just. Also, I think at my first game, I totally forgot the whole like you have a speed limit going into the corners,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Hmm.
spinned out. And when you exceed the speed limit
Yeah.
and you don't have heat, then you
Yes.
have to go back. So you pretty much
Yes.
wasted a turn, and then that's quite punishing.
That
Um,
happened to me a lot. It was like four turns in a row that I was,
yeah,
advancing like five
and
space
then
and then
going back.
go back. Like, what the heck is going on here? Why? What
It's
did I
because
do? What did I
you
do?
need to respect the speed limit of the corner, and
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
tries to make it realistic, right? You cannot just in real life you
Mm-hmm.
cannot just go full power
Mm-hmm.
towards the corner. You'll spin out.
It.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
I really liked the sensation and the emotions that the game provided. I think it's a simple game. Once you understand the whole heat dynamic, and
Mm-hmm.
but it does give you that. At least to me, it did give me that excitement of race cars, pretty much, or at
Hmm.
least on a surface level.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right, right. Now, yeah, that I totally get it. Yeah, like I said, I actually I will create a game for us in Board Game Arena now that
yeah,
without the rules,
yes,
and
yes,
then
but
definitely I will maybe at some point when I can, consider the game has a reasonable price, I will definitely
yeah,
will get a copy. But
I same thing here. I'm waiting for it. I think
mhm.
whenever it's available at a reasonable price, I think it definitely deserves a spot in the collection. I don't have any race car
Yeah.
deck building kind of like not really
Oh, now
deck
you
building,
like
but
that building games, huh? Huh.
let's say
Huh.
you're not really
Huh.
doing deck building, but you're I guess like deck managing
Deck
maybe
managing, yes,
because
yes,
you're not
yes, yes.
adding new cards really. It's just managing how much hit you have on your deck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely hit. I really liked. I recommend. The
Yeah.
hype is real.
Yep. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely. What was
and
the other
then
one?
the famous boy file that we've been talking about since episode one.
You
I
finally
finally
made it?
I finally made the unboxing video, which by the way you should
Oh,
go check it out on my YouTube channel.
Oh,
But I also
voila.
was able to finish the tutorial, and oh man, it is
It is
there.
what
It's a heavy game for sure. The 4.3 or 4.6 that it has on the Board Game Geek, it's definitely worth it.
it's real.
It is real. It's very interesting because really the rules explaining the sequence of a round, or like what you
Mhm.
do in phase one, phase two, phase three, it's like 6 pages or maybe eight. It's
Oh,
not that much,
okay.
but the description of every action that you can possibly do makes the rule book 40 pages. So the sequence of a round makes sense, but what you can do on your turn,
Mhm.
it's very broad. So that makes it complicated, because then you're like, oh, I could go this way, but I should probably go that way. And especially when you are playing the solo or the co-op version, uh, you are fighting against the like a crisis deck, which is like the AI, which pretty much every turn it gives you a problem. Like, oh, if you don't do this, you're gonna get this bad thing is gonna happen, right? So you have a choice: either you do what they want so that you
Mhm.
avoid the bad thing, or
Okay.
you just totally ignore the what they're asking for, and you just get the punishment.
Mhm.
Because then, and that is complicated, because on your turn you're like, okay, I'm going to focus on attacking or conquering this territory, but the crisis card says like, oh, if you don't advance on the civilization track, you're gonna get
Mm.
corruption. So then you're
Okay.
like, oh man, I really want to
You have
go
to take,
conquer,
yeah.
but now I
Mm.
have to probably have to do an action to move in the civilization track, so that I don't get the punishment. Or maybe you don't care, and maybe you're like, well, the punishment is not that bad, I can get some corruption. So there is plenty of those kind of like decisions
Mm.
decisions and
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it's a very crunchy game for sure. It's very
Mm.
crunchy. It definitely makes your brain work very hard. And
It,
what I heard online is that the co-op slash solo version,
uh,
it's crunchier than the competitive version. And the
okay.
reason is because in the competitive version, really you are focusing on your thing. Like, there is no crisis that we all have to fight. It's just you versus the other player. So you can decide to ignore what the other players are doing, right? And do your own thing, your own strategy.
Mm.
Whereas with the solo and co-op version, you need to worry about that crisis card that can affect you. So you're like, okay, I either take care of that or I follow my strategy. So I don't know. But yeah, I'll definitely have to find the time and the opportunity to give this game a try on a competitive version.
Mhm.
But in
Okay.
the meantime, I enjoyed
S-
it.
So, how about the table presence? Is it real that you're going to use the whole? I mean, like you need a, big table to
It
play?
is. Yeah, as you
Okay.
can see from the picture you're showing right now, it
Mm.
does take a bit of space. I think like a normal table will
Mm.
fit, like a full normal table. Um,
Mm-hmm.
will be sufficient to play the game. Maybe if you're
Okay.
playing four players, then I think the map is bigger, and then everyone needs their own
Mm.
space. So in that case, I think you'll need an extra large table.
Oh, look at this.
Uh,
Looks amazing. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it has Ian tools art. Is
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah. Look at
it's
that.
very beautiful.
Well, we are
Yeah.
going to talk about this in the main topic.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
yeah, this is part of one of my greatest regrets ever. But
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
anyway,
I think this is perfect. Like you said, I think this is a perfect
example.
transition to the second section of the podcast, which is the main topic. But just
Yeah.
before we do, well, let's say hello to Adri, which is in the chat. She says that she entered the live chat late, that she's on her way home. Thank you, Adri, for joining us.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Thank you
she's
for
very
being
happy that
here.
she says that she's very happy that you were able to try Poland, that she tried at Gen Con and she loved it.
I have. Yeah. I remember there was the exhibition of the game.
Hmm.
There were people showing you or teaching you how to play it. And then when I was also trying to get a copy, it was sold out. So I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
okay,
So it's very successful.
yes. But luckily for me, all play games.
Hmm.
They were so kind to send me a copy.
Oh,
with
that's
the game.
cool.
So thank you for
That's
that.
very
I also
special.
I have my copy now, and now I will definitely will share with the audience my thoughts about the game. But so far, I mean, I have mentioned what I the things or the point that I like it. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see for what it is the game
Mm-hmm.
itself. I think I don't have any complaints at all. I don't have anything bad to say or
Mm-hmm.
mention of the game because I think the game has its purpose to be like a quick game, but at the same time
Mm-hmm.
you are thinky and sometimes you mess up with other players, but you are messing up more because it's more convenient for you than because you are trying to mess up with other players.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a constant competition for majorities,
Mm-hmm.
and because there are so many spots open, sometimes it's easy for you like, oh, it was maybe better to go this place, and at the end but it's also good because there was some turns when one of the players was playing a card, and
Mm-hmm.
then he was like, why you did that? Yeah, because, oh, but you leave the space open for the next player, and
Yeah,
oh,
you have
damn
to
it.
think about other players.
Yeah, at the same time, but like I said, is at some point there are so many open tokens to
Mm-hmm.
consider, that you
Yeah.
also have to choose whatever is best for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very interesting. We really enjoy it. And yeah, definitely would like to play it again, hopefully soon, and with the same account
How
of
long?
players.
How long was a game?
I think it was less than an hour, that's for sure.
Oh, that's
Yes.
pretty quick.
Yeah, but like I said, just also
Four
playing
players.
that
That's nice.
a card tale, and then basically following whatever is more like this sometimes the AP that you probably have between turns, like thinking and trying to see what's best for you every turn, but it's not big deal, honestly.
Hmm.
I have I also forgot to mention, but I will mention later if we have time about other two games that we played, because like I said, it was very
Okay. All
productive.
right. Then
But yeah,
you
let's
were
let's now move
busy.
to the second section of the podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. So today's episode topic is Kickstarter, or in this case, crowdfunding, because now we also have GameFound and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
versus retail. What do we think about that? First of all, for the people that are absolutely new to the industry and don't know what crowdfunding is, it's pretty much like a platform where people can they can submit their projects. Pretty much like it's not just board games; it's technology, clothing, many multiple areas, different areas.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the big areas of crowdfunding is board games for some reason. Um,
Yes. No,
and
I think when well, I have
yeah,
something in mind about why is one of the
why do you
biggest
think
industry.
board games do so good in crowdfunding?
I think because sometimes people think that is best. I don't think this is, and also it's nothing with the big publishers at all,
Yeah,
but it's quite difficult for a lot of designers to hit, to try to get something from the big publishers.
yeah,
There is sometimes takes time for them to even try to get an approach with the big
yeah,
companies, and also get a project approved, and maybe they
yeah,
are considering. So I think why is very successful at this point for new or not because there's also a very, I don't know, I want to say all, but now uh, some designers that they're all already have their own reputation in the
yeah.
industry. They all have also been very successful submitting their projects in Kickstarter or in any
Hmm.
other crowdfunding platform. And I think pretty much it's because they wanted to have all the control about the project. They can control the timing, the quality, they wanted to also handle all the earnings so far. you know
Yeah, yeah,
I think those are the factors at some point, at some points they may consider to go to crowdfunding.
I
But
never.
mostly, just to close this talk,
Yeah,
mostly because sometimes there's a boom right now in terms of board gaming. A lot of people is trying to design games, and it's quite impossible for the big companies, the great publishers, to have a space for everything.
yeah,
That's pretty much
yeah.
I think.
Uh,
What do you think about it?
yeah. Kickstarter. It's a crazy platform. I remember when I started. I think my first Kickstarter was back in 2015. No, 2019. I think 2018, 2019,
Hmm.
with Rising Sun.
Okay.
And actually, that's how I learned about Kickstarter, because I remember I looked up online about some games, and then it was back when I was still kind of like new in the board game world. So I didn't know much about anything really. I still
Hmm.
don't know much about anything, but that's okay. I know
Okay.
more than then. Um, and I remember looking up Rising Sun. I was like, "Oh, this game looks so cool. I want to buy it." And then I was like, "Wait, what do you mean Kickstarter? What do you mean I cannot get it anymore?" I was like, "But this game is amazing. Where can I buy it?" And I was so like uh,
Yeah.
enchanted with it that I ended up buying it from someone that didn't want it anymore, that supported it through Kickstarter.
Hmm.
And I was able to get it for about almost the same price as it was, because as one of the things that happens with Kickstarter usually is exclusive, right? It's they play a lot with the FOMO of people, which is the fear of missing out.
Hmm.
And in essence, what that means is like if you don't get it now, you're never gonna get it. So either get it
Hmm.
now or never. So but that doesn't even mean that the game is good. Doesn't mean that the
No.
it's the best game ever. It just means that if you don't get it now, your chance is gone. Or you can always try to get it from someone else later. But if it's real exclusive and it turns out to be a really good game, it's gonna
It
be
will be very expensive.
double or more the
Yeah. Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's when I discovered Kickstarter, and I remember being like so upset that you could not get the game if you missed it. Like you have, like, it's not your fault, right? You just discovered this world, and the Kickstarter was like 2 months ago, and now you're like out of luck. Although,
Right.
well, to be fair, nowadays we have pledge manager and things like that, but back then it was just like you get it now or you don't get it.
Hmm.
And that felt a bit unfair. And I don't know if that's the focus of our topic, but pretty much after that I started looking. I remember, I think I went into Kickstarter almost every day or every 2 days to see the new projects that came out.
Yeah.
It
Why?
was it
I
was an
know.
addiction.
Of course, it became an addiction. Yes.
It did. And then you see all these
And
cool games,
yeah, go ahead.
interesting games from famous companies, famous designers, and sometimes not famous, but their project proposes like a very interesting either mechanic or theme, and you're like, oh man, I think it's worth giving them a chance. Which, to be honest, that is the point of the platform, right? The point of the platform is for people to bring their ideas, and because they cannot make them reality with their own financials,
Hmm.
so they bring it to the public, and the public decides if it's worth
Hmm.
helping them accomplish their goal.
But the thing is, sometimes when you have a reputation already established, it will be more easy for your projects to be found, and in a
Which
pretty
is
much,
right, but that's like an was that always the problem? I feel like before it
right.
wasn't like that.
Yeah. No.
Like
Yeah.
one of the main companies that a lot of people probably know about this is like Cool Mini or Not, right?
Hmm.
Cool Mini or Not, talking about Rising Sun, they've been
Hmm.
doing Kickstarter since, I think, way before. I think one of the first ones was Zombicide. One of the first Zombicides was
Yeah. Probably
within
yes.
their first Kickstarters, and then I knew them through Rising Sun. And then almost every year they have like one or two Kickstarters,
Hmm.
and that's their business model. Well, at least back, I don't know if it had changed in this year, but that I never really quite understood, because I think I don't know enough about how the whole process works. Like how much do they actually get? Because we see the numbers, right?
Hmm.
We see like, oh, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. You're like, oh man, these people are set for life. uh, but
Yes,
of course, we don't know how much of those 3 million is gonna go to making the games, how much of
right.
that is gonna go to salary, and then how much of that actually is gonna go towards uh,
Yeah,
Kickstarter, right?
yeah.
The
The
website.
actual earnings, yes.
Yeah, I don't know how much is it, like 3%, 30%, 10%, because any percent of millions is quite a bit. Like Kickstarter, those crowdfunding platforms are doing pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely,
um,
yes.
so I
Yeah.
always wonder, is it not better for them to just do a pre-sales from their own website? Like
Well, I
instead
think,
that way they don't have to give a
but
percentage
I
to
think,
anybody.
I think right now it's like Kickstarter or any other, pretty much Kickstarter is
Hmm.
like Facebook or any other social media platform back in the days when everyone wants to be on that specific platform,
Hmm.
because if you were not there, you have no
You're missing
visibility.
out.
Yes, part of it, at
Yeah.
some point, maybe you have a really nice project and you have all that, everything to have a great hit in the industry. But
Hmm.
then if you don't have the enough exposure to the, to the public,
Yeah.
to the people that they're already so engaged to Kickstarter, because the Kickstarter, oh look at that. Because if you are not really, you don't have the exposure that Kickstarter gives you, um, maybe you're missing up a lot of people that probably will be very interesting in your game, just to be there, just for being there. You know, is if you have enough time and enough, maybe talent to create, a good campaign. Because sometimes this is a trick, right? If you have a really good campaign, and probably your game isn't the greatest as your videos or your initial playthrough, are
So
showing to the audience. That's probably one of the things that Kickstarter allows you to do, just by showing the
it
product and
has an
approach.
audience.
Yes, an
It
audience.
has an
That's.
audience.
Hmm.
It's like a spotlight.
Hmm.
Like they are charging you for their spotlight.
Yes, and I would like
Which,
I would like to share one of the comments here. We have
yeah.
Alba from Mabel San
Hi,
Benicio.
Alba.
So she said that I think Kickstarter is also a marketing campaign
It
tool.
is.
It is
Definitely
definitely,
is.
yes, because, um, and I think that's part of the fees, or the things that they are charging, people that are, you know trying to, run a campaign on Kickstarter.
Hmm.
They're just providing the platform and whatever. Maybe they have a pre-established tools, and maybe, some templates or whatever, and you just
Hmm.
have to use it. Whatever, you just put whatever you need, and that's it. And also, just by mention that pretty soon it will be on Kickstarter, is what, like, okay, immediately it will call your attention. But like, okay,
Yeah.
let me go through this. But let's go
Yeah.
back to the beginning, and let's go and try to, let me share with you as well what was
Yep.
the first time I was,
How do you
how
enter this
how
world?
how I enter in this, in
Yes.
this vicious,
How
yeah,
did you
vicious.
fall for these tricks?
Yes, I also been in rehab for this.
Oh,
Let
me
me
too.
yes,
Me too.
rehab was like,
I mean, I think inflation also has a reason why I was
yes.
forced to rehab, but yes.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was a good reason, actually.
Yeah.
Um, my very first time I, heard anything from Kickstarter was because I had an ad on Instagram, I guess,
Hmm.
from a game that was on Kickstarter, and that game was, Wonderland Wars. Wonderland
Oh,
Wars.
yep.
And by the time Wonderland Wars, um, I had the publicity, or all,
Yeah,
the
when you
ads.
saw it.
Yeah, when I saw the ad in Instagram, it was already in the late page. So
Hmm.
it wasn't on the actual
The
Kickstarter
campaign.
campaign. you know.
Yeah.
So but that it was like I always been curious about what is this, and then I'll follow the thread until the very beginning. Then that part from pledge manager helped me to understand what is a pledge, a late pledge, what it
Mm-hmm.
came from, and then it took me all the way down to Kickstarter. And when I
Nice.
discovered Kickstarter and I saw the first games there, it was like, what the why I haven't seen these games in a store, you know?
Yeah. You're like, oh man, I discovered treasure.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then the very first game after that, because on that I didn't like um I didn't pledge directly for Wonderland Wars in Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I heard or I knew from this game about Kickstarter, but my very first Kickstarter pledge was for Everdell, the big box,
Collector.
the collector edition, the thing
Collector edition.
that thing. So that was my very first Kickstarter project, and from
Nice.
that point on, it was like maybe you are, if you like it, like if you like Everdell, you may be interested in these other projects, and then okay, give me
Mm,
more. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
They got
you're
you.
right, you were right. Yes, I'm interested. Just give me more
Yeah.
and more. It was crazy. I swear it was crazy. I backed like I don't know, maybe 50 games in the first. I don't know. I
10
don't want to
minutes.
say no, no, not that.
He's like,
No, but but yeah, definitely it was crazy. It was insane at some point because every time I was like, yeah, definitely it looks great. I didn't even take a deep look on what the game is or was at that point. It was just
hmm
like, oh my god, this looks great. Look at the campaign video. Look at these
Yeah. Look at how
reviews
many
from
things it has. Look at all those components. Look at
yes,
all
and
those expansions. Wow.
yeah, no, it was crazy. And
Yeah.
just like Alba mentioned, I think there is also a very good marketing strategy behind all these things because
For
they know
sure.
it's like if you are in the supermarket and you see something or you put or your all your attention in a shelf and went okay get this and then maybe you
hmm
need this too and then just
They put it
for
all
being there,
together.
yeah, just for
So it's
being there.
easy. You just need to
Mm.
grab it. You don't
And
need to
I
go
and
find it.
I
It's
learned
right
about
here.
this. I learned about it because my wife is working in that part. She's in charge of creating these strategies at the supermarket, so she knows
Nice.
how to work with
How
your
to
money.
get you. She
I-
understands your brain, your consumer's
yeah,
capitalist brain.
exactly. And I got it. Even
Yes.
though when I'm married with a woman like knows everything about that, about an
You know all the
insane.
tricks and you still fall for the
I
tricks.
fall trick, yeah,
We're all
all the
big. We're
time.
all
But it's an
victims here.
addiction, like I said. Yeah, I'll talk about my rehab later. But yeah, that's pretty much how it was.
So when was the collector's edition Kickstarter?
I
Was
think
that
it was
2020? No, 2021.
2021. Yes, I think it was
Okay, so
2021. But this is the other thing that for me was new, and at the beginning was quite frustrating
hmm
because the wait to get a game from Kickstarter it was like
oh the weights, yeah,
it's at the beginning it was very very hard for me to see or just for waiting for news about the game and I'm thinking that why is taking so long you know
yeah,
then I start I start understanding that how is all this process that okay
yeah.
yeah we reached the goal and then
Well,
wait
that's why.
maybe a
That's
year.
that's why. So that you're not feeling bad about waiting for the game. That's why you go and back other games. So now you're excited and distracted.
Uh-huh.
And then
And
one day it just shows up
yes.
on your door, and it's a Christmas.
And you know what happened to me also at some point I was trying to back projects that
hmm
says that yeah it will be delivered in less than 3 months or whatever
Oh
because we
yeah,
already have everything so
right.
just because it was
Ready.
available it will be available very soon or it will be car games or
hmm
some games were good
Yeah.
some games were just what.
How many games out of 10 that you have backed are not good? Or you were like, you know what? I shouldn't have backed
Oof.
this.
I
How
had
many?
I
One,
had
zero,
No,
five?
I actually I think like at this point I just have in mind like three. One of those games I didn't
All
even
the ones you have backed? Which, by the way, do you want to tell
from
us how
now
many you have
from
backed?
now from now on.
Or is that
Yeah, I
secret?
can I can tell you. No, I can tell you.
Is
It's
that
it's,
top
it's no,
secret?
no, of course not. Of course not. I can tell you right now. So, well, this is the games I have backed on
Hmm.
Kickstarter. There was also some other games that I have
On
back on
Game Found?
GameFound.
No,
Yes.
no. All right,
So,
let's just stick with
this
Kickstarter.
these are this is the list I have in Kickstarter as of today. But I
Hmm.
want to mention that some of these games are actually expansions, not
Yeah,
games. But I will count all as games, right?
yeah.
So I have like 62 games
Hmm.
back in the last 2 years. 2 years,
Okay,
not on Kickstarter. Okay,
okay.
on Kickstarter. On GameFound, it could be quite more difficult because they don't have an app like a Kickstarter, which is also very convenient.
Yeah, that would be
But
nice if
I will tell
Game
you
Found.
something right now. It was at some point so like nonsense at all, backing games with no idea just because they look good on the
Yeah,
video and they look like that.
yeah.
There is currently one game that I want to get rid of. I didn't even open it. I didn't unwrap the game just because after I tried to learn the game, watching the videos, the reviews were terrible, and then I go, "What did I buy? What did I
Oh man,
buy?"
do you want to tell us the game or is this a secret?
Yeah, I'll tell you this. So the game is so you have been eaten.
Oh, okay. That's the one that you can play zero players.
Why is the
Interesting, interesting. I thought that was an interesting game. I
well
remember when I
for
looked it up,
me
I was like, "What? Zero players?" I was like,
it
That
was
sounds
it is it
interesting."
is it is a big pass for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so unbalanced the way for two players.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unbalanced the game. It doesn't make
Mm,
sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I
gotcha.
don't know why they say that you can play with two players. The game is terrible with two players. And this is the way I
Okay.
like to play the game. So it's like
So, do you
okay.
still have the game?
Yeah, I mean still I tried to sell
No
it
one want to
on.
buy it.
No, no, maybe maybe there's a reason why and I didn't realize that.
Oh,
And that was one. There is
okay.
another game that I actually played. I when I uh, I tried the first time. I was trying to convince myself to like the game. At the end, it wasn't. You know, the game was it's Battlefish. Battlefish. I don't know if you ever seen
No, actually,
on.
that one doesn't ring a bell.
Well, it doesn't worth the mention here. Just wanted to say the
Okay,
name.
all right, Battlefish.
Another one, Turf War. Turf War. It was
Okay.
a quite interesting small box game
Mm-hmm.
when you're trying. The thematic it calls my attention because you have a garden. You have
Mm-hmm.
a garden and you are trying to compete to have the best garden
Okay.
between you and another player.
Yeah.
And but you can the play but at the same time you're trying to get your garden, your yard
Mm-hmm.
nice, and you're trying to mess up the yard of the other player, so you are trying
Like
to
that.
put some. Yeah, but again the cards and the weight, it's boring.
Okay.
So I didn't like it even when I tried to get the expansion and tried to make it interesting. It didn't work for me.
Oh.
um and finally, I think so far, oh, and this one is the worst of all. This game is Float from the Deep. So in
Nope.
Float from the Deep, what you're trying to do is the thematic. Look at the thematic. Is
Mm-hmm.
you are a survivor from a storm, maelstrom,
Okay.
and then you're trying to reach an island.
Okay.
But while you're, in the journey, you can encounter monsters, and you can also have, because it's only a complete, like the race is just who is the first, or at least the player who can reach the island. So you are
Hmm.
trying
Hmm.
to also make the other players to die before before
Okay.
you. You know, it's just
Right.
a survival game basically.
Yeah.
My God, it's terrible because the card you play is like, what I'm doing here is just nothing. Every
There's
time you
nothing
play a
on the
card,
card.
you're like, okay, what, and then what? And you can die in the first or the second turn. You can die, and then you can just,
And
but
then
that's
just
it.
wait.
Just wait.
uh,
It's oh, it's terrible, terrible. And the art is good. The idea for me was great, and also they have this expansion included in the campaign, right? Which will include
of course.
A Cthulhu like monster.
Of course.
So some things like that call your attention. It will be epic. It will be great. I really wanted to like it. I only played twice, and it was like, okay, it's enough for me. I don't want this shit on
Get
my
it. Get
shelf
out of
anymore.
here.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
No, man.
So yeah, there were, like I said, really really bad
But it sounds
things.
like overall, in the big picture, most of them are good.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely,
Most of them, well, maybe most of
definitely.
them are okay, and there are some that are like, oh man, this is
From
gold.
okay, yes, exactly. There will be other good surprises from when I say, okay, I didn't expect that much at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and when I start playing the game and just things like that was like, okay, okay, I like it. I think it was a good
Yeah.
game. And
Well,
games that have been in the in the waiting list for a while. There are some games that I had back like 2 years ago and still haven't received the copy on my at my door. So
oh, that is another thing. Yeah,
yeah,
sometimes they take forever.
forever. And when you think, and one of the games I really got strange in that one because that game is from Leather Games,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like
Out?
kind of surprised. No, 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 it's Arc something.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Arcs, I think. Yeah,
Arcs.
it's a space,
Arcs.
asymmetric
Yes.
space. Is that like? It sounded like root, but in
Right,
space.
but yes, yeah, it was back on it wasn't the 2 years. For me, it was like a very
It
long
hasn't
time
delivered
ago.
yet. Has the
It's
campaign already happened?
the campaign happened and ended on June 14, 2022.
Okay. And what's
And
up?
it's time that this is more than a year now, and I haven't received the game yet. And they say that
Damn.
it's like, oh yeah, well, blah 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 blah
We're making it.
blah. Yeah, at some point we will get it. So yeah, let's share some comments here. Adri also said that yeah, actually get excited. They give you the notify
Hmm.
meal when
Yeah.
something.
They have that. You know what? In addition to that, especially in GameFound, they are like, if you sign up to get notified, we'll
Oh
give you this like
yes,
$5 mini expansion,
yes,
which is like a
exactly.
miniature this big. This
Yeah,
big.
a mini miniature basically.
Yeah. And then
Yes.
and then and then you're like, oh, I'm so smart. I notify, so I'm gonna get $5 for free. And
Yeah.
then when the Kickstarter the project comes out, and you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I don't want this. But then you're like, if I don't do it, I'm gonna miss out on my free gift. Maybe I
Hmm.
should do it. And
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
oh,
I don't
that's
want to
how they get you.
I don't want to lose those $5 that I
That I don't
that I
even
earned
have.
that I earned with all my sacrifices.
Yeah, it's so weird, but they
Yeah,
definitely got their marketing
yeah. I mean,
developed for sure.
hmm.
Well, maybe I know. Actually, I realized that talking about Kickstarter can be multiple sub um, topics, but let's try to bring it back to like the main one, which is Kickstarter versus retail,
Hmm.
because some Kickstarters do make it to retail, and the idea behind those are. Well, you can get it now with all the bling bling, or you can wait and get the normal version.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
right, so what
Uh-huh.
what do we think about that?
You go first, or I gonna? Or do you want me to go first? I'll
It's
go
up to you.
first. I'll go
You can go.
first. Yeah, of course. So at some point, before I knew that you can get improvements and bling blings from
Yeah,
games, I mean,
yeah,
I was okay with that.
yeah.
But then there were some games that if you're telling me right now, oh, this is a great game, but
Mhm.
it is only on retail now, and you have cardboard instead of plastic tokens, or
Or
you are
metal
gonna have
or
just
minis.
instead of minis or whatever, uh, it will be very hard for me to get it on retail,
Yeah,
even when
you
I
will
know
say
that.
like, I only want the blink blink version or nothing.
And something that is for sure is if I play the game, the Kickstarter version with all the upgrades and stuff, the good stuff,
Hmm.
I played, and there is no way for me to get the same thing. Is I will never. I think that it will be very 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 difficult for me to get it from in the retail version, because you look at the table, and one of the things that you like of the game or from the game
The
is
presence,
the presence, the art, the quality,
components,
whatever.
the blink
So
blink.
what will be the, you know, it will not feel the same if you try it again with,
Yeah.
a downgraded version. Up to, I have this local joke with some of my friends. They're like, okay, do you have the rich version of the poor version? I say, yeah, no, that's it. Yeah.
Eh, yeah,
Yes, because that's what it is. That's what it
it
is. No,
is.
but at some point when maybe you missed the campaign, or maybe you were not in the position to, the financial
Yeah.
position of found or try to pledge for a particular game during the campaign,
Hmm.
but you really like it, right? One of the games, I'll tell you now. I will probably going to try to get Voidfall.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, the good
maybe.
thing is that Mind Clash, which is
Mhm.
Voidfall's publisher, they usually make their games like their
Yes,
collector editions available
right,
later.
right,
It's
right.
not usually exclusive, which is a good thing. It's
Mhm.
a good thing for everybody. I know some people like to be like, "Oh, I'm the only one with this copy of the game," and too bad you don't
That's
have
the
it.
other thing. That's the other thing. It's like we are so selfish that
We're
we are
collectors.
wanted to that we are we're
We
this
want
is
to
the
be
way
the ones like,
this is
I'm
this is the
one
way
of 100 people that have this.
this is the way we wanted to, feel special for. Like, I know I have one of them,
Yeah,
very and what, you know what what's the purpose at the end?
I don't
you're
know.
It's just plastic and cover. Well, I'm
It
saying
is.
this because I don't have that version, but if I have it, but
Yeah,
what if I have it?
it's interesting, but I'm on the team of like make it available for later. Maybe to reward the people that were there first. Maybe do it a little bit more expensive, $5 more, $10 more, something like that. Uh, but don't make it exclusive, because if you make it exclusive, then the market prices go off, right? Anyone will maybe just get the game just to resell it at like double the price, and now that's like an its own business, and it can
which
just
is
spiral
real
from that. Yeah,
which is real, because I know people that
get a
don't
couple
play the
copies.
game, just yeah.
They get a couple copies to resell them. Yeah, it's crazy.
Hmm. One of the publishers that, in my opinion, do the things correctly in terms of all these crowdfunding. I don't
Hmm.
know if they are exclusively on Kickstarter or not. Is Garfield Games. So
Okay, I
Garfield
haven't
Games,
participated in theirs.
they specifically mention on their campaigns,
Hmm.
there will be no difference between this version and the retail version. The only
Okay,
difference will be that the backers will have the copy earlier. That
got
will
it.
be their benefit.
Right, and
So if
then
yeah, because
people still support them.
yes, 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 exactly. There are people that say, okay, I just want going to back the game, because also because they already know that, I mean, they have in mind these are their projects, and
Hmm.
this is not that if they are not found, which I don't think ever happened, that they haven't
Hmm.
successfully
Yeah.
found a game. But I think that they know that, like I said in previously in the episode, there are like established. with good reputation
Right.
companies, designers, that they know that any game, or probably mostly all the games that they have or they are planning to, you know, take it for a, just for a project or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they know that they will be somehow successful, you know.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah.
though, let's say they couldn't make it in the numbers that they were planning in Kickstarter, either way they are going to um, have the game available at the stores at some point, and they are going to have sales as well on retail. So, but that's the thing. They're a good. They have a good
So you're
reputation that
you
they
like the way
already
they
have
do
it,
their business.
and they know that, and they are good with that. They are
Yeah.
good with that, and I think it's good for us as well because I think the reward, like you said, the
Mm-hmm.
reward for the backers is that they will have the game earlier, which is, I think, if you think in
Yeah.
deep, it's a good
If
reward.
that is valuable to you, then you have the choice to get it first,
Yeah,
to
or
pay
probably,
now.
or like I say, probably just a minor upgrade in terms of which maybe, like if you back earlier, you have like metal coins somehow,
Right.
but that for free, put it that
Right.
way. But if they will be available later also in retail, but they will cost
Yeah.
more.
Exactly. So
So
they're not exclusive.
yeah, so either
So if
way
you
you.
really want them, you can buy
Mhm,
them later.
exactly, yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I gotta
That's
say,
my thing. Mhm,
yeah, in my case, I used to think the same in terms of like, oh, if I'm gonna get it through Kickstarter, I better get the full bling bling version so that
yes, yes.
like to me, that's why I did it. It wasn't
Hmm.
so much because of to be the first one to get it. I mean, I obviously wanted it as fast as possible, but as fast as possible is 2 years, right? So it's like it
Yes.
doesn't matter. 2 years, two
Hmm.
years and a half.
Hmm.
Especially when I started realizing that when I got to a point in my collection when games that arrived went into the shelf of shame to just wait for another couple months, years maybe, then
Uh-huh,
I was like, well,
uh-huh.
what's the hurry, right? One more year, half a year. If I cannot play it right away, then it
Mhm,
doesn't matter to me.
mhm,
Um, that was not a problem at the beginning. At the beginning, I was like, it gets here, we play it. But anyway, now I gotta say, now that the space is also a problem in the collection, there's a lot of games that give you the options to upgrade them with miniatures. You can
mm,
either have them just the wooden versions with meeples, or you can get the cosmetic upgrade of miniatures.
mhm,
And I gotta say, I used to be like, oh man, miniatures, they look so great, they look so good. Even though it's a shame that I don't paint them because I think they will look a lot better painted.
mhm, mhm.
But um uh
But you are a 35 years old father, and then.
no, I was gonna say, um the one thing with miniatures though, even if
Mm,
they're not painted, is that now when you take the game, which they're usually big games, like big
mm,
boxes. Now every time you bring them to game night, you have to bring two big
mhm,
boxes, one for the game and
mhm,
one for the miniatures. And it's like this is so dumb. Why am I bringing a box full of miniatures? I mean, if we were playing, I don't know, Warhammer or
mhm.
that kind of miniature based games, then it makes sense.
Right.
But if you are just replacing components for the upgrade, it felt kind of like there
Yeah.
was a conflict inside me. If we were
Yep.
home, if the game was at my place, then there's no problem, right?
Mhm,
The boxes are right there. I can just go get them. It's no issue. But if I'm
mhm,
bringing them to someone else's, I usually do like, you know what? I'm not bringing the miniatures because instead of bringing two boxes, I can bring this game and two other games, or this game and another game instead of two boxes for the same game. It was I don't know,
but at the same time,
conflict.
then you are, it will not make any sense for you to back a game that you are not going to play the deluxe version every time.
Which
So.
is why now I think twice or three times or many times
Thrice.
thrice if I'm
Thrice.
gonna get
The
the
deluxe
miniature
version.
version.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I think the moment I realized when I got into that situation where I had to bring a game that had the upgraded miniatures to someone else's house, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to bring two
Mm-hmm.
big boxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I realized, like, why am I buying them if I'm not gonna use them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I really need to decide, like, are these miniatures like amazing? Are they like, do you absolutely need to have them, or are they just okay? If
Mm-hmm.
they're just okay, and especially I feel like the small ones, the miniatures that are like actually like small,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like their detail and their quality is not as good to bigger ones where you can actually see like their scales and their eyes and their fingers.
Right.
When they're smaller,
Right.
they
Right. Right.
seem
Right.
more
Right. Right.
like a
Yeah.
blob. And so I'm like, if it's just gonna be, if that's the upgrade, I think I'd rather have the wooden components.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like an actually like really nice miniature, then
Yeah.
maybe the
Yeah. Yeah.
miniature.
Yeah.
So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, something that I noticed in my Kickstarter
Mm-hmm.
adventures
Right.
lately.
Right. Right. Right.
Uh, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think at this point, if you're asking me right, that I mean straight to the answer,
yeah.
the question, what do you prefer? Right now, I think I would rather prefer just to leave Kickstarter, unless, unless,
Exclusive.
unless there is a game that I really like. I mean, a game that I
Uh,
already know,
right. A designer, a
the
publisher.
design, something,
Hmm.
something that I know already that
It's gonna be
for
a
a game,
good
or
game.
maybe an expansion of a game that I really like. So then, yeah, definitely I will go to Kickstarter all the way,
Yeah.
because that's maybe one of the points. Like, you already know, you already have it, you already play it, you already know what it's about. So
Kind
you're,
of like the Teotihuacan Deluxe. Oof.
yes, exactly, kind of, kind of a thing. So is
Yeah.
your dog okay? Is she
Yeah.
is she,
She's
is she
she's
alive?
just
Is she alive?
she's
Ah, yeah, she's
she's
alive.
living the best life, taking a nap.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Minerva.
She doesn't have to take care about
No,
Kickstarter or something anything. No, she's
she
only
doesn't have
like
to worry about Kickstarter. She just takes naps and eats
I
and
wanna be a
barks.
dog. I wanna be a dog.
Yeah, but I think we can definitely revisit the Kickstarter topic because there's many other angles that we can focus
Mm-hmm.
on when it comes to
Right.
Kickstarter. But I think for today, if I had to also answer the
Mm-hmm.
question, I think right now at this point in life, I am focusing more on retail.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely retail,
Mm-hmm.
and even in retail, I'm focusing for hits. You know, for people like Hit, for example,
Okay.
like
Mm-hmm.
the game that where people it was hyped and then it got here and people played it and it was still good reviews, and then I played it and I was like, you know what, this is I like this experience, and I think it fits in my collection. So now it's like
Mm-hmm.
a for sure, no surprises to see like, oh, am I gonna like it, am I not gonna like it? No, I know that I like it, and I know that it doesn't really compete with any other game in my collection.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just a matter of waiting until it's at a good, a decent price on the market or just available. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Kickstarter versus retail. That's a
Retail.
interesting
So
topic for sure.
yeah, for you guys who are watching this now or later, like we have mentioned in the past,
Hmm.
you if you have anything to say about it, we will love to hear what you have to say about what
Yeah,
you prefer, retail or Kickstarter. Maybe you may open a new perspective or this topic.
or let us know what specific angles or subtopics within Kickstarter you like us to talk about next time for sure.
Yeah, we are maybe missing something in here. We are
Oh
just
yeah.
sharing our uh,
I think
points from
we
rehab,
covered quite a bit about
right?
Kickstarter, even though it wasn't the focus of the conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
we can definitely expand on those topics next time,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yep. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, with that, we'll go to our third and final section of the game,
Hmm. The
and
final phase, the victory
and
point counting.
and just to keep on the same rail
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
our episode topic, my chismecito for this time, it will be all related with Kickstarter launches.
Perfect. I also have one of those. So
Oh,
I wonder
woo!
if you're gonna have the same.
Okay, okay, good. Yeah, because I would like to share with you the games that are in Kickstarter now and I'm really interested to back. So
Alrighty.
the first one is the expansion of Obsession,
Obsession.
the latest expansion for Obsession, which is
Mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm,
characters expansion. We have this campaign that 7 more days,
mm-hmm,
and you see, it's basically look at these amazing coins.
mm-hmm.
So starting
Money,
from the
real
money,
money.
real money. So you are putting money to get real money here. Look at that.
Nice. Look at them. They're real.
They're real, yeah, for sure.
They're not fake.
And then there will be two more characters with that. Well, two more. Yeah, because the expansion is
I
called
gotta
character.
say, I played Obsession
Hmm.
on Board Game Arena the other day,
Oh
and
yeah.
I
Hmm.
don't know if I don't know if I understood the rules like all the way or not, but it felt a bit okayish to me.
Really, I really like
Yeah,
it.
and I'm surprised because a lot of people like it's a really considered a really good game. So
Hmm.
I want to give it another try. Maybe once I understand the rules and the strategy a little bit better, and see if I can
Hmm.
appreciate it
Yeah, I
better.
mean, for me, it's like it
What
has
do
a
you like about
strategy.
it?
I mean, the first time I learned the game and I learned the thematic of the game, we were like,
Hmm.
this is very, old fashioned game.
Yeah,
I don't know if at some point this game could be canceled. Let me tell you why.
right.
Because this is all about trying to court a
The royalty.
distinguished son of a great family, son or daughter from a
Right.
distinct, so you are trying to introduce people,
Hmm. Hmm.
and try to gain their hearts,
Right.
somehow. But I mean, it's a really interesting hand management game because you have to play characters depending on if you want to gain reputation or if you want to gain money, or
Hmm.
if you want to gain some new tiles that will allow you to, so it's a really interesting game because you have to know on, or it's a timing game as well because
Okay.
you have to at some point, in order to retake all the cards into your hand, you have to pass basically. So
Mm.
you are losing a game, a
An
turn,
action
but
turn.
yeah, it's an actual turn to recover all the cards into your hand, so you will be able to play it again in the
Hmm.
later turns. So you have to know exactly when to use that pass because that's all. And since there's two versions of the game, you can play it in a short way and the long way.
Okay.
So it will. The only difference is that there will be more rounds in in between, right?
Okay. Yeah,
So,
actually,
but
Adri in the chat says that it's
mhm.
better to play in real life first.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, could be. I mean, the first I played first in real life, and then I played
Hmm.
in Bergen Arena, and then yeah, basically, once you know how to play it, it makes more sense, and you'll better have a better understanding on the rules or how to play it on the virtual version.
Yeah,
So
makes
yeah,
sense.
this is one of the expansions that I look forward to back, and yeah, just
All
I
right.
need I need a little
Well,
push.
that's exciting.
I need a little push on this one. And the other one is something that I got obsessed, and I got obsessed, and I realize now that is because this game is more the collector factor than the game
Hmm.
itself because I already have of
Enough
this
about this game.
enough, and still I want it.
Marvel Dice Throne
Dice Throne.
missions. That's like the cooperative version, right? This is like the brand new mechanic.
This
Is
is the
that
new
now
mechanic,
you can
yes.
play together
Well, there
against?
is there is already there is already a co-op version of the game, which is Dice Throne Adventures. So
Oh, you're right.
in
That's
Dice Throne
true.
Adventures, you can also play with any character, any set. well, any character for any set, and then you can go in a or play in a campaign mode,
Mm-hmm.
and basically a campaign mode because you are playing against some minions and then some bosses and
Yeah.
then some upgrades and blah blah blah. But
Yep.
in this case, this new co-op mode looks fantastic because you can customize, like, you have your main character, when you can recruit some other helpers. I don't know if that's the
Mm-hmm.
correct word,
Mm-hmm.
or any more heroes to help you defeat the bad guys, the villains here, and then you can also every part of the campaign can be changed from campaign to another campaign. So the replayability here is very very interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean it's fantastic the way they create all
Oh,
these
and now
sets.
you have miniatures.
Yeah, you have. I mean, they also have miniatures for silver and for all other sets. For the other sets, you
Do
can
they?
also, yes, you can get the miniatures for the other characters as well. And
But
they
what
they have the painted version and they have the non-painted
campaign?
versions. Hmm.
But what in the normal dice drones, which I guess it's a couple of versions back, you
Hmm.
didn't really need miniatures, right? Because it was
No.
just like one versus one or two versus two.
Hmm.
So did that started on the adventures?
Yes. On the adventures, it's not necessary to have the miniature because you have the standees. The
Right.
standees are
But oh, okay,
included there.
but now you actually need to use something to
Exactly.
show where you're placed,
Yeah,
pretty much.
because you are moving through a dungeon. It's a dungeon
Oh, I see.
crawler, and you have to move your character through the
Yeah.
dungeon, and then depends on where you move, you are going to try to defeat the challenge or the
Mm-hmm.
monster or whatever you faced in every room. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's basically what it is. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the art itself because I'm more fan
Mm.
of my X-Men's in this case.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have watched the X-Men series of the 90s.
Mm,
That's I'm old, I know, but I'm a
perhaps.
classic. I'm a classic, not an old. And I like that art better.
Mm.
But still, I mean, look at the dice are an absolute
Oh yeah.
blast every time. They're doing
With their own
an
personal
excellent
symbols.
look at those all those villains here. You can customize everything here.
That's
It's
pretty cool.
amazing. It's amazing. It's really nice. And also, I just need a little push. And
Is this one live already?
yes, it is.
Oh,
It
both.
is.
Wait, both of them are live.
Yes, they're all both together,
Then they're just
and you
look at
have
this 2 million, 2.5 million dollar,
yeah, exactly. So
just enough for lunch. Perfect.
yeah, yeah. So this is the chismecito I wanna
Excellent,
share with
excellent.
you.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
also
go
just
ahead,
bring.
go
I
ahead.
just also just bring a small Kickstarter that caught my attention, but this one is not live yet. This one is from, I think we mentioned it a couple episodes back, but this is the another mushroom
Right, right.
theme game, but this
Uh,
time by the renowned designer Elizabeth Hargrave,
Elizabeth
designer of
Hargrave. What's the
Wingspan, Mariposas, among others. So it's
uh,
called Undergrove.
Undergrowth? Thank you. Thank you.
Undergrove.
From AG, right?
Yep, for AEG.
But
Um,
Undergrowth, it's not
I
yet
don't know if
on. No, it's not
it's
the campaign
yeah.
either
So
on Kickstarter, right? No.
yeah, they are gonna be live on November 7th. So maybe they're not even preview yet. But
But
if you
maybe on BGG, right?
yeah, if you go Undergrove GR Undergrove oh 2024 almost at the bottom.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, this one. Yep, yep. Well,
Oh wait. Before we go deeper into this one, Adri says that she heard people in the community complain that the Marvel version is really expensive.
it is.
It is.
I mean, they're complete because yeah, it is. But
How
I
much
think,
is it? I
but I
didn't see.
think, I think the let's see, let's take a look. Let's take a look and see. So let's see. Is it worth it? I don't know, but we
Which
will see.
one?
Yeah, all the way, of
All the
course.
way. Oh
So
man,
all
there's
the
more.
way. Look at
Marvel all
this.
in.
Look at this.
$600
Oh
Christmas for the next 6 years.
my god.
Look at all that. Token upgrade, promo pack,
No, this is
Marvel dice.
insane. Insane.
How much is the base game? Like the missions
100.
expansion?
A
It's a
hundred.
hundred.
100.
What's another 500? Just said it right
Look at this. This is insane.
there. Oh man.
This is insane. So even though, I mean, if you're going to all the new things, I mean, just the thing, not the stupid. I mean,
Mm,
even look at this, just the bundle, the gameplay
yep.
bundle. If you go just wanted the chest, with the
Yep.
character, the new character. If you
Yeah.
want to play, uh, yeah, no, it's just the
Wow.
chest, just the base game.
Kickstarter. Expensive. For sure.
Yeah. Well, this one includes the previous chest, which I
Mm,
already own, so
hmm
I will not
You
go
don't
this
need
way.
that.
But
So you might have to make
well,
your own
600. Yeah,
bundle.
yeah. Well, here this is some. Well, the thing is, yeah, I will probably going to. I mean, if, but I don't think so because it's insane. Um, yeah, but probably this one at some point. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah.
I have to think.
That's uh
Anyway,
that's that's pretty hardcore. That's pretty
anyway.
hardcore.
So
Excellent.
let me share this. Yeah,
Ale,
I agree on that, but it's expensive as hell.
expensive as hell.
Yeah, look at this. I mean,
I think I have one mini expansion of Dice Rune, I think volume 2. You know, the ones that came with two characters so that you could play.
yes.
Yeah, I had a good time. I think their system is good. I
Hmm.
think it's entertaining.
Yeah, yeah. No, I really like it. I really enjoy it. And like I said, I mean, I already have everything that is available from Dice
Yeah.
Throne at this point. It's how many characters there are? How many? Like 488, like 24 characters already
Wow.
available,
There's plenty of choices.
and it's it's not enough.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Yeah. All right. Well,
anyhow,
going back to
let's go
Underground,
back. Let's go back to Underground.
I
Yes, that
think
was
I
right.
definitely want to take a look at this one because of the designer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like how I like I mean, I study biology, so I like the science
Mm. Okay.
theme that
Okay.
her games have. I'm just hoping it's not like Mariposas because Mariposa was a bit disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I agree on
I
that.
love the theme, and I think the game was good, but it was not
Mariposas.
amazing. Yeah, I think it was
Mariposas.
good.
I wasn't. Be
It
honest, it
was
was
it
not.
was good. Okay, it was good. Okay,
No,
like
it was just okay, but more. You know. I mean, compared with this little guy here,
well, that's the problem that we compare it to Wingspan, and Wingspan
that's yes, yes.
it's a hit, right?
But when you are a designer that you have a big hit and then you start
It's so
trying to
hard
do
to.
look, but take it for instance, a very prolific designer like Mr. Rainer Knizia, who has like
But
a million games and
right,
maybe 100 are good, maybe less. I
right,
mean that's
exactly.
corporation, right?
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Not all of them are hits.
No, and
Um,
those
but
are garbage actually, but yeah, not that for
but
sure.
anyway, I think it looks interesting. It has some tile laying
No,
and some
no, you're
worker
kidding me.
placement and some. It mentioned on the website that it has pick up and deliver,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
which I'm intrigued on how that's gonna work. Like, do you need to make connections from one end to another to be able to deliver things? I think that's interesting.
Uh,
And also the interaction with other players. I'm intrigued to see like other players can disrupt your connection or you can share it. Like how aggressive this game is gonna turn.
well, remember, you can make a game as aggressive as you can, as you want. There is no restrictions on that. So even a simple innocent game, you can try to find the mean part of every
How to
game.
cancel somebody,
It's how to cancel. That's for sure. So just
cancel their
don't
strategy.
limit yourself. Don't limit yourself.
That's true.
And let me share something with you right now. So I was invited. Um, I was invited to a kind of a party with AEG in the past GameCon, and they
Nice.
show us the new releases for this year, and one of the new releases was this
Did you
one.
get to play it?
I know, no, I just it was
You
available
saw
there.
it?
They just yes, I saw it.
Did you
The
touch it?
class. Yeah, of course, I touched it.
You touched it?
I
Did
took
you
so- I
smell it?
took I took some pictures as well, and yeah, they
Nice. Were you
explained
not
this.
allowed to? I don't remember. I don't remember seeing pictures about it. You were you not allowed to
I
share it yet?
shared no, not I don't remember they mentioned anything of not sharing. I don't think there was because they had also a copy available at GameCon on their stand
Mm-hmm.
of how the game will look like. Yeah, there was no restriction at all. No, the thing
Interesting.
was like I really wanted to wait until
The full.
know more about the game and try to share more about the gameplay and
Yeah.
things like that, but yeah, they explain, overall the mechanic, overall things, when it will be released, etc., etc. So yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting. Like you said, the about the interactions with other players is basically, I will do a comparison now with the game I just recently played, Poland,
Mm-hmm.
because you are trying to compete. You can do more just by playing whatever is more convenient for you,
Mm-hmm.
and with that you can mess up with other players. But you're
Mm.
maybe if you focus on what you're doing, it will be best. Unless you are not trying to win anyway, or you're
You're right.
that
You're just
probably,
fooling
yeah,
around.
yeah, you may spoil.
Interesting.
You probably want to spoil some other players' turns, but I
Hmm.
think this is one of the games that you are probably will try to focus more on what you're doing than messing up with other players.
Okay. So a
Yes.
little bit pass.
Hmm.
Pass.
Hmm.
Pacific.
Uh, we
Yes.
have a question here from Adri saying, "Can you play Santa vs. Krampus without the base game?" Yes, yes. You can actually just pick any two characters from the Dice Run series, whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want, and yeah, you don't need a base game. A base game is just two boxes. That's it. Any two boxes that
Interesting.
you can even try to, for the people that is from the United States.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Target or Barnes and Noble, you can get boxes with two characters, and that's enough for you to
Which is
play.
one. That's one of the boxes I have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And actually, Ale mentions
It's a
that
beast.
Santa is a
Yeah.
beast.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's wild. I actually played with Krampus and I won against Santa, but I
Mhm.
definitely know that Santa is it's a guy.
It's OP.
Yes, it's the man. It's not as
It's,
as the children think it is. It's not
mm,
all. It's not all fussy inside.
damn strong.
Yeah.
All
No.
right.
It's
Well, I think that is another successful episode. I think we're about time. What do you
yeah.
think, Mask?
I think, as always, we promise to deliver a 1 hour podcast, and our excitement and our casual talks goes further, and that's okay. It's just
Yeah.
a casual talk. This is what
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
podcast is about, and we like it.
One day we'll keep it to 1 hour.
Oh, yes, when I don't know,
When we didn't play many games and when we have not just Mesito
when
and
we
when
are
we
start when we are starting not being interesting anymore in board games, because every time
it's
we
true.
start talking about games,
We
it's
can go
it's
on and on
on and
and
on
on
and on.
and
And it's
on.
just Monday, and today some people have to go to the office and start, routines and stuff like that. That's why
It's,
we're doing this podcast on
it's
Monday,
for
because
you.
exactly,
It's for you.
so it's for you to have this boost of happiness to
Exactly.
start the week. Uh,
That is correct.
you're
So
welcome. You're welcome.
make sure to join us every Monday so that we
Hmm.
can chat about board games all together. And
Hmm.
let's thank the people that joined us today. Adri, Ale, and Alba was there at
Alba,
some point too. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank
Brazil
you
also
for
was on
joining
there at
us.
some point. Yeah, so thank you for joining us.
Yeah. And I guess we'll be seeing you next Monday. Make sure to keep up with us on Instagram.
Hmm.
And if you haven't seen the other episodes, go back. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe because it's free.
for now.
And for
So
now.
take advantage of that. Yes, we're gonna start getting wild on that part. Even when we are just a few subscribers right now, it's better if we start, charging now than
Yeah.
later.
Joking, maybe not. Who
Or
knows? I don't
not,
know. We don't
or
know. Or
not,
not.
maybe not, or not.
Alrighty.
We don't know
Well,
yet.
beautiful people, we'll say goodbye and we'll be seeing you next Monday
Yeah, find out what is happening every Monday after game night.
after game night.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm smiling. Mm.